My name is Amelia Carrington, and I'm 31 years old, the youngest daughter in a family that values image more than truth. I was raised in a sprawling colonial mansion in Savannah, where Christmas dinners were rehearsed like stage plays, and silence was the family's favorite form of communication. My sister, Vanessa, always shined, valedictorian, influencer, perfect hair, perfect lies. I was the mistake that lingered in the background, the afterthought in every family photo. Even after I had my son, Leo, and married Grant, a man who served his country in silence, I was still treated like the charity case that lucked into love. For years, I told myself I was overreacting, that maybe I was too sensitive, too dramatic. But the night Vanessa slapped my baby across the face at Christmas dinner, I realized I wasn't crazy. I just hadn't seen the trap yet. The scent of pine and cinnamon masked something older, mold, maybe, or the decay of old money. Vanessa arrived late, of course, like the queen making an entrance. Camera crew in tow. Luggage-sized cases of lights. Makeup artist. Her dog, Biscuit, wore a sweater worth more than my wedding dress. Sorry, she trilled. Not sorry at all. Turbulence over Atlanta. You know how private jets are. I didn't respond. Leo shifted against my shoulder, squirming under the noise and glitter. Grant touched my back lightly. One dinner. Then we're out. I nodded, but I didn't believe it. Inside, everything was exactly as I expected, controlled chaos. My mother, Eleanor, arranged every place setting twice. My father, Richard, stood near the hearth, silent, unreadable. Same press suit. Same cold eyes. You're early, he said to me, as if punctuality was a threat. Leo hasn't met you yet, I replied. He deserves to. Deserve is a big word for such a small creature. I gripped Leo tighter. Grant stepped forward, but I gave him a look. Not yet. Dinner was a performance. Vanessa live-streamed her holiday gratitude moment, gesturing theatrically as her camera panned across our uncomfortable faces. Eleanor beamed like she was being paid. Richard stared at his untouched glass of wine. Grant's jaw flexed with every sentence Vanessa spat. I'm so blessed to be with family, she said, eyes gleaming, fake tears welling. Especially after everything we've overcome this year. Forgiveness. Growth. Letting go of jealousy. Leo cried. She stopped. The camera didn't. Leo cried louder, twisting in his high chair, knocking over a gold napkin ring. The sound echoed like a gunshot. And then, Vanessa stood, took 3 sharp steps, and slapped my 6-month-old son across the face. No warning. No flinch. A perfect, practice motion. Everything stopped. No one moved. I didn't breathe. Leo wailed. My heart cracked open. Vanessa blinked once. Jesus. He needed to calm down. Silence. Eleanor reached for the wine. Richard didn't even blink. Grant's chair scraped back. His hands were clenched, so tight, I thought they'd bleed. But he didn't move. Neither did I. Because I'd learned. The Carringtons don't react. We absorb. And we survive. Later, when I stood in the hallway holding Leo against my chest, his cheek red and puffy, Grant whispered, "Say the word. We're gone." But I didn't say anything. Not yet. Upstairs, my father stood watching. Expressionless. Like he always did. Then he turned away. And that was the last time any of us would see the front door unlocked. The front door didn't budge. Grant twisted the antique knob once, then harder. The deadbolt didn't click. It didn't even rattle. Just a solid, immovable lock, like the house itself had clenched its jaw shut. "We're locked in?" I asked. He didn't answer. Just looked at me. That look. He tried again, using his shoulder this time. Nothing. I glanced over my shoulder. The dining room was still alive with the afterglow of Vanessa's holiday live stream. Clinking glasses. A curated playlist of soft jazz and fake laughter. Nobody knew or nobody cared that my child had been slapped. And now the house wouldn't let us leave. We checked the side door. Locked. Windows? Wired. Original from the 1920s. Richard never updated them because history mattered more than safety. My chest tightened. Leo squirmed against me, his head warm on my shoulder, still breathing in hiccupy sobs. Maybe the staff locked them? Grant offered, already not believing his own words. There's no staff tonight, I whispered. Richard sent them all home. Said Christmas was for blood only. He paused. When did he say that? This morning, while Vanessa was setting up her lighting rig. Grant's eyes narrowed.
Tell me, he said.
I told him everything Richard said. The look on his face. The way he turned and walked upstairs like nothing had happened. Grant rubbed his hands together like he was scrubbing something invisible off them. Power's on, he muttered. Lights are working. But phones. He checked his. No signal. Mine too.
Dead bar.
Wi-Fi gone. Not even emergency calls. You think he cut it? He doesn't do things halfway, I said. You know that. Downstairs, the hallway lights flickered once. Then steadied. Eleanor floated in from the kitchen, holding a plate of cookies like we were all still 12. Oh, don't be dramatic, Amelia, she said, smiling too tightly. It's a stormy night. The old locks stick. Vanessa followed behind her, sipping champagne like nothing happened. Her face glowing in the reflection of her front-facing camera. I swear, sis, every year you bring something to ruin Christmas, she said. This time it's your paranoia. Next year, maybe just show up drunk like a normal person. She winked at her phone, laughing. I want to leave, I said.
Now.
Then call an Uber, she sang. Oh, wait, we're in the woods of Savannah. Good luck with that. I turned to Richard's study. The old mahogany door was half open. Light on inside. I stepped in. Grant followed. The desk was pristine as always. Leather-bound ledgers. Fountain pens. A framed photo of my sister at her law school graduation. Nothing of me. No phone, Grant said, scanning. I walked to the corner bookshelf. Pulled out a copy of Moby Dick. He used to hide keys in it when we were kids. Nothing. Then I saw it. The landline. Cut clean at the base. Wire snapped, not chewed. Grant picked it up slowly. Someone wanted us isolated. No, I said. He did. Voices outside the door. We froze. Richard stepped in. He didn't look surprised to see us. Looking for something? He asked. We're leaving, I said. No, Amelia. You're staying, he replied, voice low. His eyes locked on Leo. Grant moved between us instinctively. Step back, son, Richard warned. You locked us in, I snapped. I secured the property, he said. After what you did.
Causing a scene.
Accusing your sister. She hit my child. She corrected your child, he said. Like we all corrected you. The silence was thick. I wanted to scream. Instead, I did what I was taught. I smiled. Then I walked out. Grant followed. We passed Vanessa again in the hallway. Smile for the camera, she said. You'll thank me when it goes viral. Her phone dinged. Message. I caught a glimpse of it over her shoulder. Unmarked number. 3 words. Is she alone? I didn't blink. Just kept walking. Upstairs, I opened my phone again. 1 bar, blinking. No time. I opened a hidden contact I hadn't touched in years. Lena Monroe. A name that still tasted like adrenaline. I texted 1 word. Help. Behind me, a door creaked. I turned fast. Nothing there. But I knew better. Someone was watching. Someone always had been. That was the moment I realized this wasn't a dinner. It was a trap. Leo was gone. His crib was empty. The blanket he always kicked off was still warm. The mobile above him spun slowly, whispering lullabies like nothing had happened. I froze. My brain split in 2, one half screaming, the other stunned into numb silence. Then I ran. Grant. My voice cracked. Grant, he's not here. Leo's gone. I tore through the room, throwing open closet doors, crawling under the bed, yanking open drawers that couldn't possibly hold a child. Nothing. The windows were locked from the inside. I sprinted down the hall. Carpet blurred beneath me. Grant. No answer. I reached the stairs. Took them too fast. Slipped, caught myself.
Kept moving. Kitchen.
Empty. Dining room. Abandoned. Music still played from the Bluetooth speaker, soft jazz like we were still pretending. I screamed again. Where is he? I turned in a circle, breathing hard, air slicing my lungs. Then I saw it. A folded slip of paper on the floor, under the hallway mirror. I picked it up with trembling hands. Block letters, printed. Stop digging. Or you'll bury everyone. I almost dropped it. Someone had been in my room. Someone had taken Leo. Someone knew. A creak upstairs. I moved, silent now. The kind of silence you only learn when the fear is louder than your voice. Back up the stairs. Down the west wing. Past the dead grandfather clock. Vanessa's door was ajar. Inside, she sat on the bed, typing on her laptop like the house wasn't bleeding secrets. You're awfully loud for someone who wasn't invited, she said without looking up. Where's my son? She stopped typing. Turned her head slowly. What are you talking about? He's gone. She smiled. No, Amelia. He's just somewhere else. I lunged at her. Fingers curled. Years of silence ready to scream through muscle. She jumped back. You're insane, she spat. You should be grateful he's here at all. If it weren't for... She stopped. If it weren't for what? Vanessa looked at me like I was glass, something to be studied before breaking. You always thought you deserved something, she said. But you don't. You never did. She slammed the laptop shut, walked out, left her phone on the dresser. Unlocked. I grabbed it, pulled up the messages. Nothing recent. I checked deleted files. One video. Timestamped last night. A baby crying. A shadow entering the room. Someone moving toward the crib. A hand.
Thick. Pale.
Gold cufflink. My father's coat. I dropped the phone. It clattered to the floor, screen cracking. A noise behind me. I spun. No one there. But the door, now half closed. I backed away. Grabbed the cracked phone. Took the laptop too. Bolted. In the hallway, I stopped.
Breathe.
Just breathe. I opened the laptop. Password protected. Tried Carrington.
Wrong.
Tried Vanessa 123.
Nope.
Then I typed it her favorite word. Legacy. It opened. The screen glitched once. Then revealed a desktop full of folders. One named footage_bunker. My throat tightened. Before I could open it, my own phone buzzed in my pocket. One bar. A text from Lena. I'm on my way. Don't let anyone see this message. Do not trust Grant. I blinked. Grant?
Why?
Where was he? I turned a corner and slammed into Eleanor. She didn't flinch. You look pale, dear, she said. I'm looking for Grant. I think he went outside. The doors are locked. Then maybe he found another way. She smiled, like she knew something I didn't. Or worse, everything I didn't. I bolted for the east side of the house. The old wine cellar door was cracked open. Darkness spilled from it like ink. I moved fast, each step louder than the last. A flickering light bulb buzzed overhead, and there on the floor was a trail of drops.
Not wine. Blood.
A coat lay at the end of the hall.
Grant's.
His name stitched inside the collar. And behind it, another note, this one handwritten. He's alive. For now. I made the call. Not to the police, but to someone who owed me a favor. I didn't wait. I ran from the cellar, heart hammering, coat in hand, phone screen cracked, blood drying under my nails. Upstairs, the air was different. Too still. Like the house was holding its breath. No sign of Grant. No sign of Leo. The old chandelier above the foyer flickered. A buzz. Then light snapped back. One bulb exploded. Shards rained like sparks. I didn't flinch. The more polished the silver, I whispered, the deeper the rust underneath. In the nursery, the crib was still empty. But something was different. A snow globe. On the floor.
Cracked.
Not ours. Leo didn't own one. I bent down. Picked it up.
Blood.
On the base. Thin, smeared. A fingerprint?
No.
A smear like someone held it too tightly. Inside, the snowman was missing a head. I turned the dial. No sound. It used to play Silent Night. Now it was just silent. I called Lena again. Straight to voicemail. I texted instead. Found blood. Missing items.
Leo gone.
Grant missing. Vanessa lying. Richard watching. No response. I opened Vanessa's laptop again. Password still legacy. Desktop glowed. Footage_bunker folder blinked. I clicked. Videos. All titled by date. Christmas_Eve_night_01. Christmas_Eve_night_02. Christmas_dinner_raw_01. And one named mother_proof.mp4. I hovered. Double-clicked. A flickering screen. Black and white.
Static.
Then, Richard's voice. Angry. Whispering. Another voice. Familiar.
Vanessa.
You said she wouldn't remember. She won't. She was sedated. It's done. What if she comes back for him? She won't. She doesn't exist on paper anymore. I hit pause. My breath caught. Who were they talking about? Leo's birth mother? A deal? A cover-up? Suddenly, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered without thinking. I got your message, Lena said fast. I'm in Savannah. But I need you to listen. Richard filed a temporary psychiatric hold on you. Claimed postpartum psychosis. He's trying to get you committed. What? I checked the court record. It was fast-tracked this morning. He's got connections. My voice cracked. Lena, Leo is missing. Grant too. There's blood. And video footage. Vanessa was in on something. Send it.
Now.
Don't let anyone see you do it. I'll call in a wellness check, get you out that way. Call ended. I sent the file. Power flickered again. A shadow passed across the hallway door. I snapped the laptop shut. Moved into the hall. Eleanor stood there.
Calm. Too calm.
You look flushed, she said. Maybe you need to lie down. I need to find my son. Her smile thinned. We've done what we could, Amelia. Some women just aren't suited to motherhood. Excuse me? You weren't supposed to be here this year. What? Richard thought you'd disappear like your mother. Quiet. No damage. I stepped back. You know where he is. You're not listening, she said softly. We've been protecting him. From you. I shoved past her. Back to Richard's study. Door locked. I used the base of the snow globe. Glass shattered under pressure. Lock gave way. The desk drawer. Hidden latch. I yanked it open. Inside, an envelope. Heavy. Adoption records. Leo Carrington. Birth mother. Redacted. Adoptive guardian. Amelia Carrington, unofficial. Signed under duress. What the hell? Underneath, another folder. Labeled, 1989 fire, warehouse incident, closed. 3 names circled in red. 1 underlined. My birth name. Amelia Quinn. I stumbled back. I wasn't a Carrington. I was their liability. The room swam. I clutched the desk. Out the window. The backyard lit up. Floodlights. Figures moving. Vanessa holding something, someone.
Leo.
She was walking toward the greenhouse. I grabbed the file. Bolted for the stairs. The front door? Still locked. But the kitchen door?
Cracked.
Wind howled through it. I slipped outside. Rain slicing down. Grass slick. I followed the lights. Every step felt like ice. Every step was war. I reached the greenhouse. Vanessa stood inside. Leo in her arms. Wrapped in her coat.
Crying.
Put him down, I said. You should have stayed gone. You lied. You said I was his mother. You were. For a while. What does that mean? She turned. Her eyes glass. You're not even supposed to exist, Amelia. That was the last time any of us would see the front door unlocked. Rain hammered the glass ceiling above me like fists trying to get in. Inside the greenhouse, the air steamed with heat and lies. Vanessa held Leo tighter. He's not yours, she whispered, eyes sharp. He never was. Lightning lit up her face. For a second, I saw her as she really was, terrified.
Desperate.
And holding my child like a shield. I raised him, I said, stepping forward. I held him at 3 a.m. I watched his first steps. I was there when he had his first fever, and no one else gave a damn. You don't understand what he means to this family, she snapped. To me? What does he mean, Vanessa? I took another step. Insurance? Leverage? Or just another accessory for your perfect goddamn brand? She flinched.
Careful, she said.
You're starting to sound like Mom. Suddenly, a crack of thunder split the silence. Leo wailed. I lunged. Vanessa turned, bolting through the side door of the greenhouse. I chased her. Out into the garden. Mud splashing. My boots slipping. My hands raw from gripping glass. She reached the back patio, fumbled with a lockbox near the old storm door. Too slow. I grabbed her shoulder. She spun. Elbowed me hard across the mouth.
Blood.
I stumbled. She screamed. You don't know what I gave up. Then tell me. I gave birth in a basement while Richard negotiated hush money, she roared. He promised if I stayed quiet, if I handed the baby over, he'd keep me in the will. My heart stuttered. Leo's yours? I was 17. I didn't get a choice. She dropped to her knees, still holding Leo.
Crying.
He wasn't supposed to be brought back here. You weren't supposed to find out. Sirens in the distance. Someone was coming.
Lena.
But too late. Because now I knew. Richard paid you off, I said. Used Leo to erase what happened. But why lie to me? Because they chose you, she hissed. The orphan.
The mistake.
The one they adopted and dressed up like a real Carrington. You were always meant to disappear after serving your part. And what part was that? To raise the child they couldn't risk raising themselves. Suddenly, the storm door burst open.
Grant.
Bleeding.
Wild-eyed.
Holding a crowbar. His shirt was torn. His hands were shaking. I saw the cameras, he said. Hidden in the nursery. In the vents. I followed the wiring. They go underground. Back to Richard's study. You okay? I asked. No, he said. I think I was drugged. I blacked out. When I came to, I heard them talking about moving Leo. He looked at Vanessa. Is this true? She didn't answer. Instead, she turned to Leo, whispered something into his ear, then slowly handed him to me. I held my son. For the first time that night, I believed I was still his mother. Even if I hadn't given birth to him. Even if everything else had been a lie. Sometimes blood doesn't make a family, truth does. We moved fast. Back into the house. Floodlights swung wildly outside. Police? Or something else? I ducked into the conservatory. Grant behind me. Leo pressed to my chest. Vanessa nowhere in sight. I opened the secret door hidden in the bookshelf. The glass room. Named for its mirrored walls, its illusion of openness. But it was built for silence. We entered. Inside, Richard. Waiting. Put the child down, he said.
Calm. Too calm.
No. This doesn't concern you, Amelia. It always has. I stepped forward. Vanessa told me everything. She told you enough to lose everything, he said. He opened a drawer. Pulled out a sealed envelope. Dropped it onto the table. Inside, papers. A new will. One where Leo inherits nothing. One where I don't exist. One where Vanessa signs as sole heir.
Forgery.
But there's one problem, I said, holding up the adoption file. This signature doesn't match the notary registry. And this document wasn't filed through the clerk of court. It's invalid.
His smile dropped.
You always did think you were clever, he said. Grant moved to stand beside me. You raised her like this, he said. Maybe you should be proud. Footsteps echoed. Vanessa entered. Face pale. She looked at her father. Then at me. Then spoke. I want out. Richard stared. I'm done, she said. This ends now. No, Richard growled. It ends when I say it ends. You lost control the second you tried to erase her, I said. Richard lunged. Grant stepped in. They hit the wall. Glass shattered. Leo screamed. I backed up, dodged shards. Richard grabbed for the envelope. But it was too late. Police floodlights flashed through the windows. Voices. Shouting. Someone pounded on the front door. Search warrant. Richard froze. Then turned to me. You think this makes you safe? He spat. No, I said. But it makes me free. So who the hell is my son's mother? The storm had passed. Smoke curled from the east wing as firefighters moved in like phantoms, water blasting through antique glass and scorched silk. Somewhere behind me, Grant was giving a statement. Vanessa sat wrapped in a thermal blanket on the back steps, her hands trembling like leaves in a dead season. I held Leo.
He was asleep against my chest. Warm. Alive.
I didn't let go.
Not when Lena arrived.
Not when Richard was escorted out in cuffs. Not when Eleanor screamed that we were all ripping this family apart. The truth was it had already burned. They found the tapes in a wall compartment. A hidden room behind Richard's study. Decades of secrets. Warehouse files. A ledger with off-the-books transfers.
Bribes.
Silenced witnesses. Vanessa's hospital records from 2006, when she'd vanished for 3 months and gone to Europe. She hadn't gone anywhere. She'd given birth. And Richard had hidden it beneath layers of reputation and control. He played God. And monsters always forget. They're made of flesh, too. 2 days later, I stood outside the Carrington estate. Blackened roof. Yellow tape. History unraveling with every passing hour. A reporter tried to ask me for a statement. I said nothing. Just walked past the gate. Leo's fingers curled around my coat collar. Grant met me by the car. He slept the whole time? Like nothing ever happened, I whispered. Kids are resilient. I looked at him. Are we? He didn't answer. Some wounds don't bleed. They echo. Back at the motel, I showered in silence. The steam burned my skin, but I needed to feel something clean. Grant turned on the TV, then turned it off again. Too much noise. Too many opinions from people who hadn't seen the blood. Heard the cries. Felt the walls close and like fists. I dried my face. Stared in the mirror. Hair tangled. Bruise blooming on my cheekbone. Split lip. But I looked more like myself than I ever had. Sometimes the mirror only works when it's cracked. Later that night, I sat on the floor with Leo. He stacked blocks, then knocked them over and laughed. I studied him. The way he tilted his head. His half-smile. The faint dimple that wasn't mine but somehow belonged to me anyway. Blood may start a life. But love builds it. The knock came just before midnight. Grant opened it. Lena. Hair pulled back. Eyes heavy. Richard's refusing a deal, she said. Says he'll take it to court. But with the adoption documents and the tapes, he's going down. And Vanessa? I asked. She flipped, Lena said. Full cooperation. Immunity deal in exchange for testimony. I exhaled. Not because she deserved it, but because I was too tired to keep burning. People like that, Lena said, they think control is love. But control is just fear with good PR. We sat for a while in silence, until she reached into her pocket, pulled out a small flash drive. What's that? Video files, she said. From the nursery cams. There's one you didn't see. I hesitated. Plugged it into my laptop. Opened the file. Static. Then a still shot. Leo in his crib. Me sitting next to him. Singing. Rocking.
Crying.
Not knowing we were being watched. I clicked pause. Lena stood. You weren't losing your mind, Amelia, she said. You were surviving. After she left, I watched the video again.
And again.
until the battery died. Then I closed the laptop, held Leo tighter, and whispered to him what no one ever told me. You are not a mistake.
You are not a secret.
And you will never be a pawn. The next morning, we left Savannah. No forwarding address. No press interviews. Just a beat-up rental car, a cooler of snacks, and the road unfolding like a clean sheet. Sometimes the only way to build something honest is to leave everything behind that was built on a lie. We didn't drive toward a future we could control. We drove toward one we could claim. I didn't burn the legacy. They lit the match a long time ago. I just walked out holding the truth.